So I've been trying to decide what I wanted to do with my YouTube channel and just quite haven't figured out what to do with my channel. Um, but I'm feeling a little bummed today. Um, I had just started work maybe about an hour ago and got a call from my son's case manager. And my son is 21 and he has severe autism. And he is outgrowing his youth group home. So we are trying to find an adult group home for him. And so I have talked to different group home providers and found one that I thought was going to be a match. And when it comes to my son, I'm very upfront with how severe his autism is. He's the classic autistic child, nonverbal, does the rocking. He does have aggression, and he can have outbursts. And even though I was very upfront with this potential group home, they seemed like they were interested in having him at the group home, and they spoke to me, they spoke to the current administrator at the group home he's in now, and we met with them. They met my son. We did a tour of the different homes. They had 3 homes, and they also have a day support program, so I thought that was pretty impressive. But something in the back of my mind told me that this was just too good to be true. It was just too perfect. The homes were absolutely beautiful. They had the day support all together. It just seemed like it would be a perfect fit, and it just knew in the back of my mind that this was just too perfect. This was just too easy. And we were supposed to meet with them this week at the day support to start the paperwork, to start to transfer him over. And so as I'm working this morning, of course, Mondays are busy. I'm a nurse, so you got to catch up with things from the weekend, and then you got your work that you got to do for the day. And so his case manager called me and said, "I just want to see, had you touched base with the Mr. So-and-so?" And I said, "In regards to what?" And she said, "Oh, they said they were going to call you, and I just spoke to them, and they said that they would not be able to accommodate Brendan, and so we have to start the process over to find a new group home." And I tell you, uh, and I said, here we go. Here we go. And so I said, okay. And I pretty much knew why. And she said, they said they were going to call you. Of course, I haven't received a call. And it's just so funny how, people call you. I mean, they were so on top of things. When they said they would call me. Very compliant, answering my emails, answering my texts. And then once they decide not to take them, they ghost you. That was this morning when she said they would call me. They haven't called me. And so I said, okay. I said, what did they say? Why, they couldn't accommodate him? And she told me that they had spoken to the group home again, the current group home that he's in. And, with his behaviors and, my son with autism, kids with autism, they have a lot of sensory issues. And one of the things that my son likes to do, and this is going to sound gross, so trigger warning, but he has reflux, and he will make himself bring up his food. And that's something that is affiliated with his autism. There's nothing we can do about it. And he's on protonics to help neutralize his GI, neutralize his gastric contents to help decrease the damage to his esophagus. And so basically she told me that they just wouldn't be able to accommodate his behaviors, which I felt like we were very upfront and honest about his behaviors, and the group home was as well. And it just seemed so compliant and so eager to have him. So it was just very disappointing and frustrating. Um, I'm sure it's for the best, but it still doesn't take away your initial feeling of distress and frustration. And so we have to start from point A again. And so she said she had another group home in mind that she had reached out to before this group home. And so she sent me the contact information. And so, of course, I'm sitting here at work. Already a busy day. And you just start to get very down and very depressed. And I have another child with autism too. A daughter who's considered high functioning, but she still has a lot of needs. So you have that stress. And of course, working full time. And I have my older brother lives with me, and he has intellectual disabilities, so I have to look after him for a while. So I just have a lot on my plate. So I thought about it for a moment. I'm outside right now. I just had to. Usually I just stay in the house because I work all the time and have things to do in my home. But I decided I needed to take a break after work. So I'm outside having a glass of wine. So I'm going to take a sip. So I thought about it, and I wrote her back, sent her email, and I said, can we do things a bit differently this time? Because before, when I spoke to the potential group home, they were asking me a lot of questions about his behaviors. And of course, I know about a lot of his behaviors, but he's been in the current group home since he was 15 and he's 21 now. So there's a lot of things that, a lot of questions that I'm not able to answer because I'm not there day in and day out. So I said, this time, can we do things a little differently in that can the potential group homes, and I'm giving you permission for each one to reach out to his current group home first so that they can get an accurate description of what's going on with Brendan, his schedule, the behaviors that he displays, how often does he display these behaviors, so that they can so that they can answer the questions that I'm just not able to answer because I'm not with Brendan 24/7. And if that way they can see up front, which the other group home, they got all the information and still were willing to take them and then, backed out. But I just felt like it'd be easier if they reached out to the group home first instead of reaching out to me first and asking me questions that I just cannot answer for them. And I said, so this way, when they reach out to the group home, they can get all the information that they need and they can decide whether they want to proceed, and then they can reach out to me and talk to me about Brendan, and then we can go from there. So his case manager felt like that was a really good idea. So that's what we're doing now. So we have another potential group home. So I will wait and see how things go between the conversation between the current group home and the potential group home. And at the same time, I have the contact information. So I'm going to do my research on the group home as well, so that I can be able to have an intelligent conversation with the potential group home if they decide that they want to talk to me, proceed, and they feel like Brendan may potentially be a good fit. So that's where we are right now. just, just this whole situation just reminded me of how hard it is to be a parent of a child with a disability, or special ability, whether it's autism or CP or ADHD, whatever. It's just so, so difficult. And it's just a lot. You have that extra layer of, really, of anxiety, of stress, of depression. And, sometimes you blame yourself and you just go through a lot of different emotions. But I think I'm going to start doing a video journal of this whole process. Hopefully it'll help another parent out there who is going through the same thing or will potentially go through the same thing at some point, that you are not alone, that it's okay to have those different emotions. We are human, and that sometimes you just have to take a break and just like getting off work, getting off the computer and just coming out and just enjoying nature and just sitting out here and listening to the birds. And I live in a rural area, so there's deer, we got wild turkey and all kinds of stuff. And so I just needed to, I have so much stuff I need to do in the house. I got laundry to do, I need to cook, I need to help my daughter with her homework, and so much other things I have to do right now. But I just needed a minute to just get away from my desk and just to get outside, because I never really go out anymore and just sit and have some time to myself. So I just needed this moment to have some time to myself, to just think and relax and to tell myself it's going to be okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing that. If it doesn't help anybody, it hopefully will help me. And then I can just look back at the progress that I've made in finding him a home. And I even thought about, man, I wish I could do this myself. I wish I could start my own group home myself, but I just don't have I have the nursing background, but I just don't have the support I would need as far as hiring staff and just getting everything set up. It would just be too much for me. It would just be too much to do it. I wish I could, but I can't. The group home that he's in now, she has her family, and it was started by her mother. So, they have the family support there, and that's just something. I don't have a lot of family. A lot of my family are older and have passed on. So that would just be too hard for me to do. But I would love to be able to take care of my son myself, but it's just not an option at this point. So that's where I am right now. And I'm just gonna do my research and follow up with his case manager this week and see if both of the group homes were able to make contact, and just go from there. So hopefully I'll be back later this week with another update. Hopefully I'll be feeling a lot better than I do today. But we shall see. So you guys have a great day. It's Monday. It's the 28th of April. And I hope everyone has a blessed week ahead. I'll talk to you later.